Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. I am Vaishali Khan and we are discussing the antennas and the wave propagation. Today in this video we are going to talk about a very important antenna, that is the traveling wave antenna. So as the name suggests, the wave is traveling inside the antenna. So antenna is a type of long wire antenna. We have already studied about the long wire antennas. Long wire antennas are in the form of a wire. So now here the wire is terminated by a mesh load, right? So this is how we can construct the traveling wave antennas. Right, so now here I told you we are having the wave which is traveling inside this structure. So it is going to use the traveling wave on a guiding structure. The guiding structure would be the length of the antenna, right? So the wave is traveling on the length of the antenna. Because the wave is traveling in the one direction only, it's no returning back into the input side of the antenna back. So here we won't be having any resonant type of condition, or it is aperiodic in nature. So it is non-resonant and it is aperiodic due to the generated wave travel only in the one dimension direction only, right? So it is going to operate on the radio frequency current, and this is how it is going to generate the waves, right? So now here we have a long wire. It is terminated by a meshed load at the far end. So this is the long wire that we have. The long wire is terminated by the ZL, which is the mesh load, and from the feed we are going to supply the power to this long wire. So we will be having lesser reflection because the wave which is generated is going to travel from this mesh load into the ground. So the wave will not come back, and due to which there would be no standing wave. Standing wave is produced when the wave return from the ground and opposite polarity of wave is generated, which are going to superimpose. So maxima is superimposed on the minima and the standing wave is produced. Because here the wave is not returning back, so here we won't be generating any standing wave. So angle of lobes will vary with the length. So if I change the length from here, I am going to show you how the angle is dependent upon the length, or I can say it is dependent upon the frequency of operation as well. So the length depends upon the frequency of operation, because the length is slightly less than n lambda upon 2. So length will be related to n lambda upon 2. So if I change L or if I change lambda, so angle of maxima, angle of peak is going to change. So this is how the radiation pattern will be looking like, and it will be having characteristic impedance at 600 ohm. Right, so you can see the maxima is somewhat in between 0 to 90 and 0 to 270, and here we will be having a lot of minor lobes as well. So this is the structure, this is a radiation. I hope you understood both of them. So now coming to the designing parameters. To design it, we should understand where I am getting the maxima. So peak angle I should know. So peak angle will be denoted by theta m. It is equal to cos inverse 1 upon 2l multiplied with 2m plus 1, where m is any integer 0, 1, 2, 3 and all, right? So now here we have L term over here. So you can see theta, the angle of maxima depends upon the length of the wire that I am using. Now coming to the nulls. Nulls exist on the condition when sine square kl upon 2 cos theta minus 1 is equal to 0. Now when I take sine square is equal to 0, when sine is equal to 0, sine square will be 0. Now sine is 0 when theta is 2n pi. So I can denote this theta. This is the full theta for sine, right? So if I put this equal to 2n pi, I will be having the sine equal to 0. So this condition will be satisfied when kl upon 2 cos theta minus 1 is equal to 2n pi, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and all. Right, now coming to the angle of the null. We should know where at all places the nulls are there. Nulls are the position where I don't have any radiation. So angle of null will be equal to theta n, which will be equal to cos inverse 1 plus minus n lambda upon L. So angle of null also depends upon the length. So if I change the length, angle of nulls is also going to change. So if you have some application and if you want to increase the length, to change some of the parameters, then the angle of nulls is going to change. So let's suppose this is my antenna. According to the first length, you had placed the receiver over here. right? But if you change the length, you might have to place the receiver at a different location as well, because the nulls are going to change, the angle of peak or maxima is also going to change. So maybe if you change the length here, when I was getting the peak at this position, now at this point I may get the null as well. So here the receiver won't detect any signal, so I have to change the location of the receiver as well. So now the total radiated power, power radiated is denoted by the power density integrated over the ds. So we are having double integration, because the surface integration, we are integrating power density over the ds. So it will be equal to eta upon 4 pi I naught square 1.415 plus ln kl upon pi minus ci 2kl plus sin 2kl upon 2kl. Now this is the total radiated power. Now the radiation resistance is equal to twice of the power radiated divided by I naught square. So we have already found out the power radiated. Now I will multiply it with 2 and I will divide it with I naught square. So this I naught factor will not be here. So here we will be having eta upon 2 pi, because here we had upon 4 pi. So because this 2 factor is going to cancel out 4, so here we will be having eta upon 2 pi multiplied with 1.415 plus ln kl upon pi plus ci 2kl plus sin 2kl upon 2kl. So this is how I can find out the radiation resistance as well. Now after that, the directivity. Directivity is found out using the formula d naught is equal to 4 pi u max upon period. We had talked about the three formulas that discuss the directivity, and this was the formula which is used to find out the directivity in the case of the travelling wave antenna. So it came out to be 2 cot square 1 upon 2 cos inverse 1 minus 0.371 lambda upon L, and now period. So instead of period, because this I naught and eta upon 4 pi are going to cancel out, we are left with this bracket term only, 1.415 ln 2l upon lambda minus ci 2kl plus sin 2kl upon 2kl. So now the load resistance is equal to 138 log 10 UH upon D. So now H is the height over which the antenna is placed. Now I hope you understood all of the things that I have represented over here. Now coming to the advantages. What are the advantages of using the travelling wave antenna? Because here I have just a single wire and I am matching it with the load resistance, so it is easy to construct, right? It is economical, I can say it is cheaper as well, because in the V antennas, another type of the long wire antennas, we were using more structures and we were using more material. So it is cheaper than the V antennas and it is simple to construct as well. Now we will be having high input impedance. You can see it is 600 ohm. So it would be easier to match any input to this antenna. So there would be no losses at the input size, or the losses at the input would be negligible, because the input impedance is so high. So it is effective in the medium frequency as well as high frequency. In the medium frequency, it operates from 300 kilo to 3 megahertz, and in high frequency from 3 to 30 megahertz it can operate very easily, and it has directivity less, so I can increase the directivity by using it in the form of arrays. So I can easily construct the arrays using the travelling wave antennas, and I can increase the directivity, which was the disadvantage of using the travelling wave antenna. So this is how I can neglect the disadvantage of using it as well. So disadvantage is that it is having lesser directivity, which can be overcome by using it in the arrays. It has more minor lobes, so you can see over here we have the minor lobes. Now it is having the inclination angle, which depends upon the length. Inclination angle of the major lobes depend upon the L. This is also a very big disadvantage. Now coming to the application, it is used in the tunnels. In the tunnels, if you want to do the communication, it is used. It is used in long closed places like the tunnels, right? It is used as a commercial object, so as a commercial antenna, or it is used in the military applications as well. So it is used in the RF and the microwave communication as well. I hope you understood each one of the things that I have discussed in the traveling wave antenna. If you have any doubt, you can put the doubt in the comment and I will be trying to resolve your doubt as soon as possible. I hope you like this session. If you like it, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, give me your feedback. Thank you so much.